Hello, hello. Welcome to the space. Mystic Maya here. If you're new, welcome. We're going to have some fun. I have a download message for you that came to me in my morning meditation, but it's just like a baby one. In general, I love to just free flow and riff. Before I hop on here, I meditate, I ground myself, and I ask spirit, angels, God, whatever you want to call that higher energy to be here with me now. I truly believe that I am a fractal of God, and so are you. I'm a fractal of spirit, and so are you. I'm a fractal of the angelic team, and so are you. Basically, we all have that ability within our DNA, and all we have to do is give permission for that code, for that energy to be awakened. So we all have this ability. I want to stress that. But at the same time, we're all pillars of inspiration for each other. So it is my absolute honor to be here and hold you wherever this video is finding you. Maybe you're feeling a little stuck and you just need someone to hug you with some positivity. I'm here for that. Maybe you're feeling just like there's no words even because the energy just feels so stagnant. This video will be here to hug you as well. And whatever other emotions are in between that, this is just a time for us to sit, to gather, to be inspired, and also to feel what's alive. If you are feeling frustrated, be honest with that, because to alchemize lower frequency energies, we have to first acknowledge them and give them space to be heard. We don't want to bypass the feeling, or else we're just, moving it down this emotion that we're not processing, and it just sits in our body, and then it manifests as some sort of illness, unfortunately. But the body does keep score. There's literally a book about it. Maybe that's a sign for someone to read it. So yeah, grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's just chit chat about the 4-4 portal, because that's why we're here today. But of course, this video is timeless. If you're watching this not around the 4-4 portal, you can just take it and fly with it, take what you need, leave behind what you don't, because essentially, the number 4 has such an incredible energy. It's talking all about foundation, and that is a seed of life. So we're going to use the 4-4 energy to really tap into groundation, which isn't really a word. I know it's a reggae band, which I love. I actually haven't listened to them in a while. Maybe I'll play them before we end, but they're a vibe. I used to listen to them in the 8th grade, believe it or not. I was a big reggae head and still am. So before we go into the download, the messages, the freestyle, all the things, let's first take 3 deep breaths. Whether tongue twist, wherever you are in the world, there we go. Whether you're driving or listening to this as you're folding the laundry or doing the dishes or on a walk, or anywhere else in between, just allow yourself to give yourself like an intentional breath. Maybe this is going to be the first intentional breath you've given yourself all day. So let's welcome that in. If you're driving, of course, keep your eyes open and just breathe with me. All right. Taking a deep breath in, you can choose whether your eyes are closed or open. Taking a deep breath in, holding at the top, letting it go. Breathing in, welcoming love, holding at the top, letting it go, observing any fear, any doubt. Breathing in, holding, welcoming in curiosity, exhaling, surrendering to the unknown. And just notice your breath now coming to a steady cycle that works for you, whether that's in through your nose and out through your mouth, or in through your nose and out through your nose. You choose. Beautiful. There's so much wisdom that can come in silence. And if for any reason I find myself in little hot pockets of silence throughout this video, just know that is me emptying out whatever's within so I can be a vessel to receive whatever needs to come through. We all have the ability to do this. Like I said, you are your greatest healer, you are your greatest shaman, you are your greatest teacher, student, even. So just allow yourself to receive in this space. I love to apply the beginner's mindset. I have years of experience in the holistic space, but at the same time, I also know that I know nothing. So just know that this is an open dialogue. I'm speaking from a place of what I've learned, but I don't know if it's right. I'm just throwing spaghetti on the wall with you and speaking from experience. Honestly, I believe that experience is the number one credibility for life. It's not all the fancy stuff on your CV, unfortunately. That's what the 3D world wants us to think. But the, the sustainability, and that was a little bit of a tongue twister, sustainability is based on knowing thyself and coming back to the energy of four. It's all about building a foundation that is true to you and your values and your energy and your dreams that you have within you, that were planted within you when you were born. And maybe even, obviously, it's not obvious, but it's obvious to me that it even comes even before that, because we all have past lives, and each life each life that we live is a game in itself that I'm kind of thinking of, just like any video game, like Pac-Man is coming up, but I don't know if that's the greatest example, honestly. I'm not a big gamer, so if you're a gamer here, you probably can think of a game that correlates with what I'm saying a little bit better. But every life, we're aiming for those coins. We need to go grab those coins, and those coins are really just our mission in life, to be of service in some way, to be a light in some way. Our purpose is ingrained in our DNA, and every life we get to try again and try again and try again. And not to say that in other lives you don't really complete the goal, but there's always something to learn, right? There's always something to evolve into and with, and also to unlearn. That's also a big, big pillar of the human experience, is not necessarily learning. I mean, hey, that is a part of it. But there's also a stage where we have to unlearn, become empty, so that we can become full. So let's talk a little bit about the 4-4 portal. If you made it 8 minutes in, I'm so proud of you. You're awesome. All right, so I'm going to look down on my notes. So the 4-4 portal is all about taking a moment to actually observe your energy and where you've been putting most of your focus. Because the mission, the intention, the goal, if you need to call it that, is to restore our energy. Because it's so easy to put our energy in all of these, channels that, it's not good or bad. It is what it is. We're all drawn to certain things, to receive certain lessons, certain blessings. So there's no right or wrong here. So wherever your energy is, it's not to judge it, but to observe it, with a bird's eye perspective, to see, where are you putting all your energy? Because essentially the goal really is to put our energy within, so that we can create and hold the space for others. But if we are constantly giving, 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 when are we making time for receiving? There needs to be a balance, So this 4-4 portal is all about coming back to your center, becoming one again with your mission and your purpose, and just observing, where are you in your alignment? Can you call your power back? In fact, we're going to do a little exercise now to literally call our power back. So take a moment and just soak into what I'm saying here. Get curious with it. Don't be too hard on yourself, because shame is not a part of the game. I mean, it is, but if you give shame too much energy, you're not learning what you need to learn. You're just drowning in the lesson, when it's like, dude, it's okay. You're human. You're human. At the end of the day, you're a spiritual being in a human body, and this is the game of life, duality. Sometimes you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose, but it's that middle ground of what you make of the lessons and the blessings. Some might call them, what is it? Blessings? Blessings. Lessons and blessings together. So just observe, where are you putting most of your energy? Are you giving it a lot to friends, family, your work, your crush, your husband, your partner? Where are you giving your energy? What has your energy right now? Just observe it. And when you do, we're going to try this. You ready? We're going to have some fun with this too. You know what? I'm going to play a song that's actually going to be a little bit upbeat to help us get into the energy of this, because it should be fun. It should be playful. You know, I'm a very big advocate for making healing fun, because we all know to heal, you have to go deep. You really have to uncover all these like heavy feelings to like make room. And that ain't no game for the weak. It takes true strength. We all do it in our own way. And it can be fun though. So what we're about to do is about adding that play to the healing element, because why the heck not? So let's do this. Okay. You ready, guys? We're going to pull our power back. Ready? So this is basically what we're going to do. We're just going to pull our power back. So just go ahead, pull your power into you, back into you, and just observe, where have you given all your power? So just take this moment to really pull it in. Oh gosh, maybe it's even emotion. Maybe it's not even a thing or a place. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's doubt. But just pull it in, pull it in. Yes. Maybe it is giving all your energy to that toxic boss, that guy, that girl that you're crushing on, your duties as a wife, as a husband, whatever it is. Pull it back in. Maybe there's one behind you that you want to pull back in. Just pull it in and feel the power of calling your power back in, your sovereignty, your purpose, your light. And try and find a breath rhythm that works for you as you do this. So yes, keep it going. We're almost done. Call your power back from all the four corners of the land, from the north, from the south, from the east, from the west. Yes, good job. We're here for 30 more seconds. Let's feel into it. Feel into it. All right, coming back and just like allowing your hands to soften and just feel into the energy you just created for yourself as you called back your power. You just called back your power. You are in your power now. How does that feel to be back in your power? Maybe take a few deep breaths to really integrate that. Now that you are in alignment, you're here. And you can do this exercise whenever you need to. Whenever you feel just out of balance, you can call back your power with this simple exercise of calling it back with your hands and breathing in sync. It's as simple as that. So next, I want us to talk about just, what is the opportunity here of the 4-4 portal? And in general, this is timeless, so you can just do this anytime that you feel like you're out of balance. Because as I was saying, it's an opportunity to just observe where your energy is at, to restore. So 4 is all about restoring balance, because we're building a solid foundation. And in order to build a solid foundation, oftentimes you have to understand what is not working. What is not working? So you can understand what is working. So in your mind's eye, if you can, close your eyes real quick. See if you can imagine 4 as a pillar of a house. Okay, so you have 1 pillar, 2 pillar, 3 pillar, 4 pillar. And we're not going to build on top yet, but these 4 pillars are grounded on cement. And just imagine these 4 pillars that you're creating right now grounded in the cement. And maybe even if you want to get extra creative, you can create roots from each pillar that go down into the ground and connect to the earth's core. Okay, so your 4 pillars are now rooted in the cement and grounded in the earth's pillar, the earth's core. Now, if you can, grab a pen and paper. You may open your eyes now. Grab a pen and paper, or come back to this exercise a different time, and see if you can name each pillar. What is the first one? Maybe it's love. And to give a better example, these pillars are almost like your values. They are your values. They're not almost, they are your values. So identify what are your 4 pillar values right here, right now. Whatever that is for you. And it should be the first thing that comes to mind. Let's not overthink it. Let's adapt an automatic writing ability here where the subconscious is speaking to you. We're not spending too much time in the mind. We're trusting the heart and the subconscious mind to guide us here. So maybe that first pillar is love, because that is something that you value. If the people, places, and things don't have the energy of love, it's just a no. Maybe the other one is a heart-centered career. Maybe the other one is travel. Maybe the other one is health. So just play with what you desire your pillars to be. And once you identify those, you can come back and close your eyes if you want to, or just kind of craft with me here. We want to now build a roof on top of that. The roof is basically the things that you need to do to make those pillars stronger so they can exist. So for example, maybe it's, switching up your morning habits. Maybe it's spending less time on Instagram and more time reading. Maybe it's spending less time stressing about your friends' problems and working more on your business. Whatever you feel like you need to do to create that roof, go ahead and write that down. Beautiful. So right now you just created a map for your 4-4 portal that will hopefully lead you into this next chapter of spring of 2025 or whatever year it is, whatever season it is. And now it brings me to the channeled message that I got as I was sitting outside this morning. I was thinking, oh, actually, I wasn't even really thinking. I was feeling into, I was just breathing, I was moving my body, and then I was sitting in meditation. And then I heard this clear knowing of like, talk about the spider and the web for the 4-4 portal. So here we are. I wrote some notes down about it. So this is kind of what Spirit was telling me to pass on to my fellow tribe members. Okay, so for a moment, just pretend that you're a spider. We all know spiders create webs, and it's absolutely incredible how they create them. Like, they spend hours to create this beautiful web that is pretty resilient. I don't know if you've ever seen a web like blowing in the wind. The wind could be so strong, but this thing is so intact. It's absolutely mind-boggling. And not only does a spider spend so much time to build something that, yeah, it's sturdy, but eventually it will break, whether it's from just, weather, or a human who's like, oh my God, what is this spider doing in my house, and just breaks it in a second. But this spider literally spends so much time and patience to attract their food into this web that's really an illusion. Think about it. Depending on how you look at it, you can see it or you can't see it, but it's there. So we're playing here, it's 222 as I say this, we're playing here with the element of duality, of illusion. And my name is Maya, which means I embody exactly that. In Hindu, Maya means illusion. So I'm speaking from my ancestral roots in some way. I understand illusion. So I really feel the spider. But we're embracing here duality and that power of like, it all depends on how you look at the glass. Is it half empty or is it half full? So Spirit suggested to just play with this, and you can drop into a meditation after like you hear this. Like, go have fun, put some meditation music, go sit outside and just like imagine what I'm saying here. So if you need to take notes now, go ahead and do so, just like little fragments, or you can even come back and listen to this as you meditate, whatever works for you. But this is really just like a fun exercise to play with, okay? So Spirit was saying, pretend that you're a spider. And as you're embodying the spider codes within you, you're coming back to this natural essence within you that, manifesting is more about flowing than force. It's about knowing that once you've created your web, what is yours is yours. And what I mean by that is, we have to take some sort of action to manifest our wildest dreams. We can't be passive. There's this active patience that takes place when we're manifesting. And it really is the energy of duality, because it's like, you must know what you want, but then you got to let it go and just know that it's yours and follow the flow in between those two pillars. So it's almost like, if you think about it, you have, this is what Spirit's showing me right now. So it's almost like you have 4 pillars, right? So these, oh, you can't really see them. So these are your your pillars, your values, right? And then there's like this, there's these in between moments of getting to that end goal. That's this is like the active patience. So you set the intention, you forget about it, but it's not about forgetting about it and like doing nothing. And that's a contradicting thing, because what I'm about to tell you is kind of like, wait, what? Because it's like, it's not about doing anything, but then it's not really about focus on the doing. It's actually focusing on the being in between each pillar. So the being creates the doing. That sounds so just like cryptic. Let me see if I can express that a little bit more easier. There's all these codes in life. It's like you say one thing and it's like it contradicts the other thing, and you're like, but what am I supposed to do? Oh, okay, Spirit's telling me to go back to the channeled message because it's going to explain exactly that. So when you are a spider, you have built your web, which is essentially what you truly desire, the life that you desire, all the things that you want is in this web. And to attract it, it's not really about sitting there, right by the web and like looking. All right, did the bee go in there? Did the fly go in there? Is my food there? Is it there? Oh my gosh, is it there? Is it? Did the bee? Do I got the bee? Like, just like Spirit saying, like, chill. You created the web, and you have this wise intelligence within you that can be activated of this frequency of I can do more by doing less. And that is about knowing that you've created, the structure for your beings, for your dreams. And then it's about going away from your web and just knowing that when you come back, you're going to have everything that you desire. You're going to have 4 bees to eat, 5 bees to eat, because you just knew that they're going to find your web. So hopefully this is making sense. This is the part where like I am riffing and I'm like, what's going on? I hope I'm speaking English. I know I'm speaking English, but I feel like it's a little bit cryptic. So bear with me here. Spirit was also talking about as human. So let's go back to the human beings, okay? Maybe we need to put the spider analogy aside, but take the spider analogy how you want to take it, okay? You can even fly with it a little bit more and dream bigger with the spider analogy, because you yourself know the symbolism of the spider to you and what that means. So maybe even sit down and journal about your inner spider and the meaning of being a spider to you. And if you do end up journaling that and writing something epic, please know that you can share it with me. I love, love, love reading people's poetry and just insights and wisdom. So you can always email me. I'm always there to hold a space and just listen, because it just lights my soul on fire. So that's one thing. Second, let's come back to just being human. We're human, we're back into the human body. And another note that I wrote down here is playing with your auric field. So hopefully you know by now, and if not, it's all good, you're learning now, that around you, you have the subtle body, which is basically this bioplasmic light bubble around you that you can't see, but it's there. And it's basically our equivalent to our spider web, because it's this beautiful grid that lives around us. And there's so many layers within this, okay? I can literally create a video, and maybe I will create, if there's enough request for this, I will specifically create this. And honestly, maybe if there's no requests for it, I'll create it too, because I love this. But I don't want to go too in depth on the auric field, but I will say it's this beautiful grid that lies around us. And all of our lives, past, present, and even future, lies in this grid. But let's, for just now, talk about the present moment. Because if you can find time to sit, and it doesn't even have to be in silence, like meditation comes in so many shapes and so many sizes. Like if you have ADHD, which I do, I have trouble focus. I had a hard time. This is a side rant, but like I've tried many different types of meditation styles until I found what works for me. And for so long, I was gravitating towards these meditation styles. And I'm not even going to name what it is because it's not about saying, oh, that meditation style is bad. No, 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 no. Because again, there's so many different ways to talk to God, to spirit, to find your center. And it's about what works for you, not what is good, what is bad. We're not going to go down that route because it doesn't matter. But I tried so many styles of meditation that was mainly focused on a lot of the mind. And I felt for someone who, identifies with ADHD, I was like going crazy because I felt like I wasn't really being, I wasn't able to really process my emotions in a way that was true to me. Essentially, what I needed is mind and body so I can meet my soul. So, this is why personally I'm a big fan of meditation styles that have somatic practices within them because it's a triangle: mind, body, soul. We need the three of them to really feel into that infinite potential within us. This song has a lot of lyrics, so I'm gonna put it down. But this song is literally called Be Like Water by Lone Wolf. I love this song. And maybe that is a sign, like, because when we connect to our body, we're allowing our emotions to be heard and seen, but we're not identifying them in a way where we keep them, right? We embrace this energy of water, of fluidity, of I see you, I feel you, but I move through you. And that's the power of, doing meditations that is not just all mind, but also body, breath, movement. Like sometimes we have to create this fire energy, like we did in the start of the video of pulling in our power and breathing. That's fire energy. Sometimes we need to ignite our soul with that first before we can drop into silence and really go deep within our higher self. So that came through. That was a little, random, but not random. So I know and trust that there's a reason why I'm saying that. So take that if you need to. And if you don't need to, that's okay too. So basically, coming back to like the auric field, if you can have fun the next time you sit in meditation, after you connect with your body if you need to, and then coming into, your third eye, your heart, having your root chakra grounded and your mind open, coming to the understanding that you have this incredible grid of light that literally surrounds you, and it holds so much wisdom. And even it has like our childhood traumas. A fun little fact, like literally at the last layer of our auric field, okay, if we have any, childhood traumas that are activated still, when we go out in our environment, if we get triggered by someone, it's because we have a childhood wound at the tip of our auric field that hasn't yet been, weaved out and, I don't even know the right word, but just like dealt with in a beautiful way. So it's still like as this stagnant energy outside of your auric field, and then someone comes to you, says something, you get triggered. It like basically is like two magnets that come together, and it triggers that wound, and then you react based on that wound. And that's a whole rabbit hole in itself. But our auric field is so important. And if we can learn to trust what we can't see just within our own human grid, we become like that spider. Our auric field is our web. So if we can sit down and breathe into the fact that what is ours, we are a magnet. And our wildest dreams, if we just continue to believe that we are worthy of the thing, the people, the places that we want, it will just come to us. It will just find us, because you're always at the right place at the right time. Simple as that. And I know there's a lot of energetic frequency of heaviness that just comes when I say that. Like, you're always at the right place at the right time. But then comes the frustration of like, but nothing in my life is happening as I want it to. And there's so much just frustration around why is things not happening the way that I want it. And the simple, without going too deep into it, is because you're doing exactly this. You're holding on, you're controlling, and you're not letting any room for you to be a co-creator with the divine. It's similar to, I personally actually haven't seen this reel, but apparently there's a reel going around where it's like, there's this person holding a small teddy bear, and he's like, oh, like, maybe this is a bad example. Maybe I should use an example that I know. But, I'll go back to it. But basically, it's this person who really just wants so much, and it's holding this tiny teddy bear, and like God, higher power energy is like literally right above this person holding this massive teddy bear, saying like, yo, I have this incredible gift for you, but you can't see it because you're so fixated on this small teddy bear. So hopefully that example landed. But when we hold too tight on the things that we think we need, in the path that we think it needs to go, there's no room for those blessings, for those miracles to come in. So maybe this is a sign to just loosen your grip. And even if all you can really do is like do this, by just and like this is, look at, already you have a little bit of room to co-create. And it's incredible how the power of our words can move mountains. So like, if you're feeling flustered, I want you to acknowledge that. Because like I said from the start of this video, it's not about bypassing the fact that you are feeling flustered and just like suppressing down. No, we want to hold space for it, because it's in the things that make us angry, that make us sad, that make us just confused, where all of the potential lie, because we can take that energy and alchemize it into purpose, into answers, into methods, into something. So this is where, your discernment, where your energy, where your power come into place. It's like, okay, you're feeling angry, but what are you doing with that anger? How can that anger actually propel you towards your dreams? Because often the things that we don't like, that we hate, and I hate the word hate. I don't like the word hate, but often tongue twister again, but the things that just like we don't like give us inspiration for solutions. So it's like, you can spend lots of energy focusing on the problem, but the problem is going to be the problem unless you're open to using that problem to attain solutions, if that makes sense. And you are the solution, you are the portal. All right, I'm getting off the track of the auric field here. So I'm being called to come back. I can go on rants, but take what you need, leave behind what you don't. I'm noticing we're already 40 minutes in, but what is time really, right? I know for me, as someone who is new to content creation and just being here as a vessel, you know, there's this tendency within me, this human tendency of, is it safe to be seen? Is it safe to be heard? 444, as I said that. And it was, maybe there's, you know, speaking of the fours, maybe there's a reason I'm saying this, but there is a reason, actually. I take it back. There is a reason. I must trust this. But, maybe someone can relate to this, of just like having the fear of being seen and being heard, and if you're worthy of being seen or being heard. As I sit here, I'm working through so much self-doubt of that frequency, and it takes a lot to just push through that, and be here with you. And like, when you look at the clock going and going and going, and it's like you see, oh my gosh, we're here for 40 freaking minutes. Like, am I even talking to anyone at this point? Did you stay until this point? Like, is it okay for me to take up the space? And the answer is yes, because time is an illusion. And as long as you know your pillars and what you stand for, and you are just so in sync with your web, the rest will come, because you are in an energy of knowing, believing, and knowing. So I said a lot of things here. So to close, I'm going to come into just like this final big bang of encouragement of how we can like take everything that we discussed and really integrate it. Okay, so I'm being told to pull an angel card to help us close this beautiful, energetic web that we've created here today. And essentially, the real opportunity here is just to sit down with yourself today. And in general, portals are very potent 3 days before the portal, 3 days after the portal. So if this is meeting you in live time, just take the next few days to really sit with yourself and observe, where are you giving your energy, your power? Where do you need to call your power back? You can come back to that exercise that we did in the beginning to intentionally call back your power. And it feels so just empowering. Like, it's something so simple that can really just open all your chakras and ground you into the present moment, which is everything in life, because we create our future based on our present energy, thoughts, and actions. So we want those to be in alignment. And this portal, this opportunity to reflect on just the energy of 4, is a recalibration to just take stock of where you're at now and where you want to go, and just make sure that all your ducks are in a row and you're feeling good. You're leading from the heart, from your pillars. Take that time to write down your pillars, identify your roof, and your roof is literally the, things that you need to do, more the action that you need to do to really make sure that those pillars stay intact. And it's also just a reminder, and it's a way to play within the energy that you want to embody. And it's not about perfection, it's about, coming back to those frequencies over and over again until you start to collect data of what works and what doesn't work, because essentially you don't really know until you know. All right, so let's get some last messages from the angels. Dear archangels, what do we need to know right now with the energy of 4 portal? What does the collective need to know? How can they integrate? Ooh, that's okay. That's the question that feels good. How can the collective integrate all the wisdom here today that we talked about? How can they integrate? I usually just wait for like a card to fly out. So integration is a really essential part of soaking in wisdom. And you can receive, but then it's about kind of letting it all kind of fall into place. So what we got is the card of abundance, which is interesting because we're talking about how can we integrate. So off the bat, what I'm getting is like really sitting in the knowing that you are abundant. Abundance is your birthright. And from here on out, as long as you know thyself and what you stand for, your pillars of your house is you and your dreams. Like all is well. Even if you don't know those things, all is still well, because again, we don't know what we know until we know it. So it's like, it's all an opportunity to build, to rebuild. You can also rebuild because, again, sometimes, natural disasters happen. And what you thought was going to be the most sturdiest thing ever turns out not to be. So there's going to be also multiple opportunities to rebuild, restructure, and continue to learn again. And what's coming through is this example of like when you build a castle on sand, it might look good from the outside. It might be able to sustain, a few weather disasters, but eventually it will crumble and it will fall. But if you build your castle on that cement we were talking about, and you ground it down into the core of the earth, you take a drill, you make sure that your pillars are in the earth, grounded, rooted, no matter what comes your way, you're firm. Well, we said we don't want to be like this, but maybe we'll just say you're firm. Yeah, there we go. That has flow in it. That looks kind of funny, like a duck, but you're firm, you're strong, you're rooted. And that's like really the energy of this 4-4 portal, is being rooted. This is also why I wore red and put red lipstick on, because I wanted to bring that energy of we are grounded. So I'm going to read the abundance card so you can really listen and activate the message from your angels. And then before we close, I will find a groundation song so you can listen to them, and then we'll go. And okay, abundance. A new flow of support is coming to you right now. Ask the angels, or whatever you identify God, omnipresent energy to be, to help you release fears about lack so that you can enjoy this increased abundance. Your messenger angels announce the arrival of an inflow of abundance coming your way. This literally makes me think of the spider that creates the web, and it's not like sitting on the corner watching for its food to come. It goes on a walk, it goes on, a little trip, and it just knows when it comes back, it's going to have its food, right? The source of all abundance is God, and you at some level had faith that the Creator would supply your needs. Your faith, even if it was small, triggered the abundance that is manifesting for you right now. Keep your faith, as it will ensure a steady flow of support materially, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, and also in the exploration of your subconscious mind. A wonderful affirmation to help you to stay in stream of a steady flow of abundance is, okay, if you feel called, say this with me now. I accept good graciously into my life. All of my needs are met abundantly for me now and always. I accept good graciously into my life. All my needs are met abundantly for me now and always. I accept good graciously into my life. All my needs are met abundantly for me now and always. And so it is. Wow. All right. The angels got our back because they literally tied in everything we just spoke about in a beautiful frequency, in the frequency of abundance. Pretty cool how that happens, eh? All right, let's look up groundation. I haven't listened to them in so long. This is going to be a blast from the past. So as that loads, if you made it this far in the video, I would love it if you drop a red heart emoji, since we're talking about groundation. And if you want to share where you're at in the world, I'd love to know. And remember, if you do end up journaling about what the web means to you and you come up with some cool poem and you want to share it with someone, please do. I would love that. If you want to also recite it on a story, or if you post it on Instagram, you can also tag me so I can see it. You can find me at Maya Armony Art, and you can also do the hashtag Maya Armony Art, so I can like pull it up. But if you tag me, that's enough. You don't need a hashtag. But for some reason, I just said my hashtag. Why is it not finding it? Oh, I'm in the search mode. Groundation. Come on, you're my favorite reggae band. Or at least one of them. I'll find it maybe on YouTube. I'm so dedicated to find it, even if it means taking up more space. Because we are safe to take up space. All right, groundation. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. Let's see, if it's meant to come through, it's meant to come through. If not, then you can go ahead and, yeah, it's not coming through. So I guess it's just not meant to, but I'll let you take groundation. Go Google them. Let me know if you like their music. All right, I guess that's it. Have a fun portal, and I'll see you in the next video. The light in me sees and feels the light in you.